Something like that. Anyway, you can log directly into Pearson without going through Canvas. Has anybody done that? Gone directly to Pearson? Yeah, so that does work. So Pearson is still working, it's still up. I sent an email through self-service, so it's to your school email. And the first one I sent, delete, because I accidentally, when I copied and pasted it, pasted all your emails in there. Okay, so delete that one. The second one that you sent has a link that goes to the Pearson page where you can log in. And so hopefully you know your username and password from when you set it up, because you're going to need that to log in. You'll have to try to figure it out in there. I'm sure they have forgot passwords and all that kind of stuff if you don't remember. So you're going to have to get in that way, and we get to continue. There are some teachers that have their entire class built in Canvas. They cannot do anything. They can't grade. Grades are going to be due in 2 weeks. I don't know what they're going to do.
It's the worst time.
Yeah.
So was there a bug or like did it crash or something?
And scientists have also warned.
I was just, huh? Oh, got hacked? Oh, okay, yeah. I was getting like all of these emails at work and
The story going on out there, for those who just came in,
Canvas, the whole world.
Canvas is owned by a company called Instructure.
Yes.
Instructure laid off a bunch of employees and basically replaced them with AI. And the employees are upset. They got together with some professional hackers and hacked the Canvas system. They're holding them ransom. They want pay by Tuesday. So that's the story.
Sounds like the plot of a movie book.
Now, I don't know what they're gonna do if they don't get paid by Tuesday, if that means they're just gonna, crash the entire system so it's no longer operable.
They were gonna reveal a lot of students' information,
So they're gonna violate privacy?
yeah.
No, yeah, they have access to all our information. They have access to all our money, any transaction we made through Canvas, any kind of information.
I mean, to register for classes, you have to show 2 proofs of identity and stuff.
Yeah, they have socials, they have everything.
Now,
It's a breach, data breach.
do these people not know that they will be arrested for this eventually? Do they not know that? How can you collect that money and avoid legal consequences?
That's true.
I don't know, I think they're stupid, but anyway. So, 11/3 was due last night. I moved the due date all the way to the 18th. That's the day of our final exam. So it'll be due that night, just in case it messed you up last night. I'm going to make all the remaining assignments due on the 18th, but there will be no late opportunity after that, night of the 18th. So don't wait, because we're going to add more assignments still, a couple more. I'm going to add a review here soon, maybe today. Okay? Any questions on 11/3 or 12/1? Any questions there? All right, we're going to be going on to 12/2. Yes.
When is the day to do the final?
Our final is on Monday of finals week, which is the 18th. Monday at our, we need to come at 8 o'clock because there's another class in here at 10 o'clock. So to get our 2 hours for our final, we actually need to come at 8 o'clock on the day of the final. Okay. This system that this is leading into section 12.2. This system that we graph on, where we have X and Y axis. This is called the rectangular coordinate system. So, if we have the point 4, 2, we go over 4 on the x-axis. X-axis is basically a number line. The y-axis is a number line in vertical form. We go up to, and there's our point 4, 2. This was developed by a person by the name of Rene Descartes. Sometimes you will hear this referred to as the Cartesian plane. And that Cartesian, that's named after Rene Descartes, who developed it. The story goes, he was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. Good morning. And it was a ceiling with the square tiles that had all the dots on them, old style schoolhouse ceiling. And he saw a fly walking across the ceiling, and through the intersection what the lines make up there, going across those dots. And just laying there and seeing that, he had this epiphany and thought of this idea here to make those coordinates and like addresses for each point. And then he saw them as those coordinates as x and y solutions to equations. He just laying in bed there staring at the ceiling, he had that idea came to him. And if we look at the pictures here, well, let's go fly on the ceiling. There. There you go. So he's laying in bed and he sees this fly on the ceiling and he sees it walking across the lines and gets the whole idea for the x and y axis and those points being solutions to equations. So let's look at him a little bit. When did he live? Where's Wikipedia? Wikipedia always comes up. Where is it here? Put his name in there. Here it is. So he was born in March of 1596, died February 1650. So it was in the 1600s, I believe. Was that when, starting to get this stuff mixed up now. Sir Isaac Newton. Yeah, he was. (1643) and Descartes, 1596. So Sir Isaac Newton was born 7 years before Descartes died. Sir Isaac Newton and Leibniz get credit for discovering calculus. So it was only a generation before him that we started graphing things. Before Rene Descartes, we did not graph anything. They just worked with equations. They didn't, and the thing about that was they couldn't visualize how the equations increased, how an exponential increases really, really quick versus a linear. They didn't see all that in their head. It wasn't until Rene Descartes that we're able to see those kinds of things, what a parabola looks like, because those shapes tell us how the function behaves, right? So it wasn't until Rene Descartes that we got that. And the big deal about it is that he brought algebra and geometry together. Before Rene Descartes, geometry sometimes wasn't really even considered math. It was separate, like philosophy and English, you know. There's two separate subjects. Well, he brought them together because after doing this graphing stuff, we could represent geometric shapes with equations. And then we could study the geometry using algebra. And beforehand, we couldn't do that, so he brought the two together. That's the big deal here. Well, we're going to look at another system for graphing. And this new system, this is section 12.2. And the title here is Polar Coordinates.